All praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, the honors to the apostles and the elders of a great millstone. And it's sincere shalom to the icon that's out there pushing the sincerity and the truth and the sound doctrine. Real quick video, put up by, or a little short video put up by the Hopefully Elect 3, the brother Hopefully Elect 3. And he says, we see how Esau is going to spin these stories. Now, they were talking about the 4 attacks that happened so far. The two of the biggest prominent ones are more so the ones dealing with the small hats. All right. One happened here in Baltimore at Park Heights, and I think another one happened at Michigan. And we all know this is all going to go back. You know, most of these attacks are going to go blaming the Israelites and some other Muslims and stuff like that. They already know what's coming. That's what they always do. They blame Israelites and Muslims, right? Because they are one of the ones that said Allahu Akbar, all right? So we all know that that's coming, right? But this is prophecy, and these are the things that we have prophesied about. This is one of the biggest things that we prophesied about, was persecution was get ready to come upon the Lord's chosen, all right? Start with the elect. Persecution is coming. Heavy persecution is coming. And this is why we don't have time to go back and forth with you scoffers on a comment board or anything like that. This is why I did a video off of Elder Apostle Rakar yesterday, and he was just talking about, yeah, just do the work. Just do the work, man. Don't worry about anything else, man. Just do the work. Worry about your salvation and do the work. Just keep your eyes forward, man, and just do the work. All right. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to just make this kind of quick. There's not very much to say about a situation like this, but going just, the basic prophecy, right? Matthew 20:24-6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, right? There shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. Now, earthquakes in diverse places is exactly what's happening with these psyops and all these attacks, right? Is commotions, riots, and stuff like that. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Here's the point that I wanted to get into. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, right? And ye shall be hated of all nations, yes, including other Israelites, for my name's sake. Other Israelites are going to start selling out Great Millstone. I'm gonna just put it out there just like that. Yeah, a lot of you other Israelite groups are going to sell out Great Millstone, right? You're going to say, yeah, it was those guys, and everybody going to cheer for, looking at us being, our downfall, so called. But it is really not going to be our downfall. It's going to be our deliverance, man. Right, and this is going towards the hopeful elect. I say Great Millstone specifically because because you're all going to have some. All the elect is not going to be in Great Millstone, but all the elect is going to follow the Great Millstone doctrine. We will say that, right? We will say that the Great Millstone doctrine is the 100% truth, and that is without a doubt. And there's nothing that you could tell us otherwise. No matter how many you get on the comment board and say, well, y'all wrong about this, y'all wrong about that. We don't have the time to be going back and forth with y'all anymore about stuff that we've covered for decades. We don't have time for it anymore. The Great Millstone doctrine is the 100% truth, and it makes almost no sense, but makes sense at the same time that we're the only ones saying that. It makes sense. Well, let me start why it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because everybody should be saying that they have the 100% truth, but nobody's saying it for whatever reason. It does make sense because, well, we had a 100% truth, and the Lord has put the Spirit on us to boldly say that yes, we do have the 100% truth, without a doubt. All right. So that being hated of all men, from all nations, for my name's sake, is including other Israelites, right? Including other Israelites, right? Now I want to go into this word, kill, because when it talks about kill, it's not always talking about, a spirit lead body type situation, right? It's not always talking about that, right? So let's go ahead and get that definition real quick. It says to kill in any way, whatever, right? To destroy, to allow to perish. Again, that doesn't have to just mean, your spirit lead body type situations. Just read on. To extinguish, abolish. There we go. You got that right there. To inflict mortal death. So that mortal death is literally only one definition of kill. That's why English is so confusing, because one word could mean 20 different things, man. Right? It says to deprive of spiritual life. That's more so. So these last two definitions are more so what's going to be, as far as the persecution. All right. To deprive of a spiritual life, right, and procure eternal misery in hell. As we always do say, despite what other groups and what other people say, this is hell, and eternal misery in hell. Well, here we go. So these two, the last definitions, to inflict mortal death and to deprive of spiritual life, is more so of what's coming. More so than depriving of spiritual life. Yes, killing is coming, no doubt. As far as mortal death is coming, no doubt. But it's going to be more so of that before it gets to that level. All right, or during that. They're going to try to break you when it comes to that mark of the beast thing. They're going to try to, they're going to do everything in their power, man. But as long as you have the spirit of the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, nothing's going to be able to break us, man. Right? Like I said, easier said than done. This is something that we are preparing ourselves for. That draft is all part of that killing. While mortal death comes with that, it's going to be more so of depriving you of spiritual life. Because mortal death is just mortal death. But that spiritual life is something that they can't take. You know what I mean? Only the Lord can do that. But that mortal death, you got righteous death. And you have unrighteous death. Right? I'll get another scripture. This is actually a scripture that I meant to get first. But, Spirit had it for me to get Matthew 24 first. Right? We all know this scripture, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Man, if Esau could have this place continue on how it was 50, 60, 70 years ago, he would do that. But he can't do it. So he has to set these things up. He has to, set up all these attacks and stuff like that, because they know that America, what do they say? They want to liquidate it. And the liquidation is really, really showing itself now, man. Right? They already know America is not it anymore. But like I said, if they could continue on how they were, they would keep America, but they can't. Right? They can't. That comes to show you that they have power, but it's kind of, it's pretty much artificial. You know what I mean? You have to set up false flag attacks in order for you to stay in power. What kind of power is that? What's the point then? Something that I so-called worked so hard to conquer. Now I have to set up false flag attacks and psyops and stuff like that, right? And destroy my own in order for me to stay in power. Then eventually run underground in bunkers. What kind of power is that? What kind of ruler is going to rule underground? You don't even see them. We ask people who are the rulers. Most people that we talk to, some have an idea, some don't even know. Man, when we get in rulership, everybody's going to know that it's the Israelites. It ain't gonna be no, yeah, secret organization here, Illuminati there, this, that, you know. It ain't gonna be none of that stuff, man. Esau's powers are so artificial, man, it's ridiculous. They have it, like I said, they have the power, no doubt, but it's artificial. You know what I mean? You got GMO foods. You're polluting the same air that you're breathing. Like I said, all this just so you can stay in power. All this so you could keep the people under control. Man, in the kingdom, we ain't gonna need none of that stuff to keep the people in control, man. Everybody's gonna recognize that. Everybody's gonna realize that, yeah, these are the Israelites and these are the rulers of the planet. And everybody's gonna see our face, man. These elites' faces aren't even on the money. And they rule it. It is their money. And their faces aren't even on it. They gotta hide somewhere. But they're doing this, and back to the point, they're doing this for the devil has come down to see you having great rap because they know that they have but a short time. That's why I went into all this, because they know that they have a short time. So they gotta do all this BS, all these psyops and all this other stuff, man. Because they know they have a short time. They know the Israelites is coming up and they're afraid. And like I always keep saying, and I will always continue to say, if I was them, if I were them, I would be afraid too. Right? If I were them, I would be afraid too. This is why they're raising up, because they know YAHAWASHI is coming back. They just have hope. They just have hope that they'll be able to fight against them. And it makes sense. What fun would it be if your enemy just laid there and let you just beat them? What kind of fun would that be? I mean, it's no fun at all. So it only makes sense. There has to be some type of excitement here, right? You know what I mean? So anyway, that's pretty much all I got on this video. Esau, your time is short. It doesn't matter who you blame, how you do it, and whatever, your drafts and everything else. Look, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You're losing. You already lost pretty much. You're just fighting a lost battle, pretty much. Anyway, that's all I got on this. Giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Shalom.